Hello everyone, my name is Stefano and I work for Yorkshire Building Society. I'm here to talk to you about the basic of starting a business. For the next 10 minutes, I want you to imagine that you are on Dragon's Den. We're going to talk about an amazing new business idea and do some activities that will bring the business to life. Then we'll talk about some tools that can help you to make sure the business is successful. Once we're used to the terms that people use to talk about business, we're going to have a look at something that's called the 5-year forecast. By the end of the session, you'll have the potential to become the next generation of young entrepreneurs. These are the main things that the session will cover. Words related to business, design and marketing, and how to financially plan a 5-year forecast, working out all the costs involved. During this session, we are going to be introducing a brand new product to the market and created a 5-year plan that can be presented to a bank who can lend you money to help you start up your new business. You need to decide which of the 3 sample forecasts will be the best to present. But to be able to do that, first we need to work within a budget and consider all costs. So, before we go on to choose the best forecast, let's look at some words we might use when we are talking about business, marketing or design. In a moment, some words will appear on your screen. Can you think about what each of them means? When the words appear, pause the video whilst you're discussing the words with someone or consider each of them on your own. Welcome back. Let's have a look at some of the words together. USP. This stands for Unique Selling Point. The features that make the product different from others. Target. Who is the target audience? Who is the product aimed at? Example, young people. Marketing. Everything from design, packaging up, and advertising the product to get it ready for sale. Brand. This is a make or type of product. Cost. This relates to the price of all aspects of making the new product. Consumer. This is the people who buy and use the product or service. Forecast. This means a prediction of sales going forward. Overheads. These are costs involved in owning a business and which must be paid before we can make a profit. We will need to consider these words as we start to look at the next activities. So, now that we've taken some time to understand words to help us talk about business, let's have a look at some ideas for a new product. Some important things to consider when you want to sell a product are who your target is. These are also your consumers. What is your unique selling point? How much it will cost? It needs to be value for money and affordable for your target. The name of your product, i.e. your branding. How you will advertise your new product. So, as an example, let's take this item here. Apple have marketed themselves as a modern and innovative brand, and this has helped iPhones and other Apple products become hugely popular with the target audience, which are mostly tech-savvy younger consumers. They are a brand that people trust and that most people immediately recognize. You're almost guaranteed to see at least one person with an iPhone whenever you leave the house. The unique selling point of the iPhone is that it has additional features compared to other smartphones, such as access to thousands of apps, music streaming, health and sleep data, emojis, and cameras capable of taking amazing quality photos. The cost of an iPhone may be expensive, but mobile phone shops are able to offer payment plans, so we are able to break down the cost over time into manageable monthly payments. This ensures that iPhones are accessible and affordable for their consumers, who generally earn a decent income but may not be wealthy enough to afford the upfront payment of over £1,000. We already know that the mobile phones market is very popular with millions of people. So, why don't we create fun new products for these consumers? Here's the proposal. We are going to create a light-up phone case that flashes when you receive a notification and also has a ring light when you're taking selfies to get the best photos. Now, I want you to pause the video and have a think about the questions on the screen using what we have already discussed. We'll come back and discuss them in a few minutes. it might be a good idea to note down your ideas. Who is the target audience for the light up phone case? Do you have any ideas for branding? Can you think of a name for the product? What is a unique selling point? What would you pay for it? Where could you advertise or market it? I hope you spent some time thinking about those questions. We are going to talk through them now. You would have a huge target audience. Anyone with a mobile phone who likes gadgets or takes lots of selfies could potentially buy and use this phone case. We could brand it up as Light Me Up Case, which describes the function of it when taking selfies. If you had any better ideas, please do let us know. We'd love to hear them. The unique selling point is that it has a functional item to protect your phone and has additional fashionable features, such as the selfie ring light. The cost of the case could be similar to all other phone cases, but due to the additional functions it has, it would be attractive to the consumer. Example, £10 each. Finally, there are lots of places you will be able to advertise this, but I think a good idea would be to use Instagram. A lot of our target audience use Instagram. Plus, it could help to keep marketing costs down. It could also be a good idea to sell the product on Amazon, which is very widely used and could keep overhead costs down. Now, let's have a look at the financial side of introducing a new product to the market. We are going to look at a 5-year forecast, which is something you share with your bank or investor. So they're happy to lend you the money to start up your new venture. A 5-year forecast is designed to help you predict how much income you can generate from sales versus how much expenditure you'll have for your overheads and marketing. They can help you to get a loan as they allow investors and banks to see how much profit you're expected to generate in the first 5 years of your business, which are often the hardest. We are going to take a look at the 3 examples of a 5-year forecast so you know what they look like, and spend a couple of minutes reading through and trying to understand the table. The first few rows can help you to work out how much money you can make from sales. The last few rows can work out how much profit you'll make in total after you have deducted all of your overheads. You might notice that there are some missing figures. The first task is for you to fill in the missing figures by calculating the totals from sales and then the profit for each forecast. That means doing some maths. A calculator might help you at this point. After you've finished calculating the missing figures, I want you to spend some time analyzing and understanding each forecast. Think about the following bullet points and scribble down what you notice. Do any costs increase? Did you sell more or the same over time? Do your profit increase? Do you start to lose any money? Which forecast do you think is the most and the least successful? Don't worry about right or wrong answers. We'll come back and chat about what was wrong or right about each of them. Hello again. Welcome back. I hope you were able to work out the missing figures and also understand what each of the forecasts were telling you. Here are the answers completed in each of the forecasts for you, so you can see if you worked them out correctly. Pause the video whilst you study each of the forecasts and compare your answers. Now that you've seen all the correct answers, we are going to talk about why each forecast was good or bad. So, you should have chosen forecast 1 as the most successful, but let's discuss each of them. Forecast 1. So, in the first forecast, you should have noticed the following. The cost to produce your product is reasonably low compared to the price the consumer will be paying, therefore ensuring a steady increase in total from sales. The number of units being produced throughout the 5 years increases, so you can sell more. Overheads are managed well, which results in a steady profit being made year on year. Forecast 2. So, for the second forecast, you should have noticed that the cost to the consumer isn't much higher than the cost to produce your product. It should have been higher to make more profit. The number of units produced increased quite quickly in the second and third year, but that dropped off in year 4 and 5, which resulted in reduced total from sales. The number of units produced should have continued to increase. This happened because the price to the consumer remained too low, which didn't balance well the cost to produce the product. Figures recovered slightly in year 5, but only after a dramatic cost increase to the consumer and also by lowering overhead costs. The cost to the consumer should have increased sooner. Finally, in forecast 3, you will have noticed the cost to produce your product is very low compared to the cost to the consumer, which should ensure healthy totals from sales. The cost to the consumer should have increased. The number of units sold and the totals from sales made either a steady increase or remain static over the final 3 years. The number of units sold should have remained at a steady increase. Although the sales totals are good, the overheads are rising each year, so profit is shrinking. We are not seeing any growth after year 3. If the cost to the consumer had increased, profit from sales would have covered the increased overhead costs. So forecast 1 has all the best planned figures from the cost to produce the item compared to the price the consumer then pays to buy it, helping to ensure growth in sales, units sold, and a good management of overheads, therefore providing a steady increase in profits year on year. This is the one that is most likely to secure a loan from the bank. I hope you find that activity interesting. You could always have a go at creating your own 5-year forecast for your own idea now that you know how they should look. So that's it for our session. I hope you've learned a bit about design a product and the costs you need to consider when starting up a new venture. But don't stop here. Why don't you talk to someone about anything that surprised you in this video? Think about what you have learned about designing a product or setting up a business. Tell someone about one thing you have learned from the video and ask them to feed it back to you and then chat about it more. You could even go on to put together a pitch to present your lender, including information of the USP, target market, forecast, design image of the product, and then tell someone why they should lend you funds to help you market your light up phone case. As a thank you for completing this session, we'd like to send you a certificate. So please ask a parent or a carer to email this address on screen now to let us know your name and which topic you have completed, and we'll email your certificate straight back to them. We hope you enjoyed the session. If you'd like to learn about more bills and budgeting, please visit the Yorkshire Building Society website. The address is on the screen now. Thank you for watching and goodbye.